Yeah, it's very easy to explain why we have a very intensive and hard program. We must only look for the next game what we have. We play now Saturday Aston Villa, one of the top teams in the league. We play Tuesday against Swansea in the away cup. We play Bristol, also one of the top teams in the league. 3 days later, Ipswich Town. So the games following in a very close distance. So I must also protect my players, and the players who you name, they play a very lot of games, but not every player is for so much games after 3 days to 100% come back in his best performance. So that is why I must keep an eye of my players. Every training, every day, they training with GPS, so we control also the physical situation from our players. So and we know that we have a lot of problems with injury players, and our squad is very small. So I must have a very good control my team, my players, every day, from the results from the training, from the GPS, and of course also from the games. And we have also the situation that a lot of players plays in the last 6 months not a lot of games, so they have no competition, no match situations. And now I'm 6 weeks here, and these players who now play, they are not before in a situation that they have much playing. So it is also new for these players, and I must be careful why now, in the time that now I'm here, these players have also the injuries, as Marco Matias, as Liam Palmer, maybe now also Lucas. So these players come now in a situation that intensity from these games after always 2-3 days is very hard for them. So we have now on this moment 16 players who are not available. So in the next 2 weeks we have so hard and heavy games, so that I must look who can play for the last game, who can play for the next game. Why I have maybe in 2 weeks not 10 players over. So I must very careful about what I'm doing with my team.
Can I ask that, what does it say about the fitness of the players in this squad if someone like Lucas João can't play either on the Saturday or the Tuesday? I mean, his next start could potentially be 10 days since the Derby game. What does that say about the fitness of the players in this squad?
It's only 1 week. He played also last Saturday. He came in the game, and he came yesterday in the game. But it's not a problem from one player. It's the problem from the whole team. So it's not normal that you have in the winter 12 players not available. That is not a normal situation. And now we become slowly also more players in the situation. So it is a complex problem what we have, and in the short time that I'm now here, I see a lot of things what is maybe the problem, but I must now handle the situation, and that is very intensive, very hard to come to the decision for every game new.
Would it not have been possible though to start one of Newey or João, for example, to have a striker on the pitch in that game, and if they were tiring, take them off after 55 minutes, 60 minutes, put the other striker on? Then they've not played 90 minutes. They could only have played an hour or half an hour in some cases.
That is your theory, but Artis plays also last Saturday 90 minutes. So it is always a theory. When you win, is this question not coming, and when you lose,
I can assure you it's not. If you'd won it, I would have asked the same question.
We have in the first half we have one goal make, and it was 1-0 in the halftime, and in the second half came Lucas, but the 2 goals had nothing to do with a striker more or a striker in the field or not in the field.
Though,
you see the 2 goals.
Well, the second goal, you kept giving the ball away on the edge of the penalty area, and
who?
The defenders kept losing possession on the edge of the penalty area, but it had been talked about and suggested that maybe if you'd had an outlet up front, someone that you could have gone long to, for example, you wouldn't have kept losing possession on the edge of your own box.
Yeah, but we will not play only long balls. We will play football from behind. So it is always not only the theory. You see not the players every day, and you see not the players on what physical situation they are. And that is what we see every day new, what I tried you to explain.
Just a final quick point on this. I take your point on the fitness of the team and the size of your squad. You've obviously got a lot of injuries. But was it necessary to leave all four? I mean, could not even a couple of Nuhiu, João, Padil and Reach have played? Because they're probably your four best players that you've had at the club since you took over. They've been the most consistent performers. To leave all four out, didn't that put you at a disadvantage in that game against Millwall?
But you speak only about theory, and over the game that the result maybe was not positive for us. But I look, and I can explain it every time to you new, I look to the players, how is the physical situation. And not every player is the same, and I will not speak about players only, but I know exactly what we're doing, and I know exactly how is the stand from every player. See you every day, the GPS, see you every day the situation, how the situation from the personal players.
Just as a mere observer of this team and other football teams, sometimes I find it a little bit hard to understand how professional athletes, professional footballers, can't play twice in a week or 3 times in a week. Isn't that what they're paid to do?
No, we play now 5-6 games in 14 days. So it is possible, of course, it is not a problem. But when you see this squad, then is it a problem? That's why we now 16 players have not available. That is not the problem where we now overspoken. You say it too easy. Why we have this problem? And I can make more problems when I let the same players every game play now. And maybe I have in 2 weeks not a squad.
Let me ask you it this way then. How do you balance the need between putting the best possible team out to get points, which you obviously need to make sure that you're still going to be in the Championship next season, and also to maintain a health of the squad between now and May? How is that balance brought about then? Because you do need to get some wins as well as making sure that the team is fit.
We will every game try to win, every game. And we have a very good progression in the last 6 weeks, the time that I'm here. But you have also sometimes a game where maybe you have not your high level. But we're helping, when we speak about the game from Tuesday, we're helping by the 2 goals the opponent. And that is the situation that we must handle it, that we must be better defending. But I think we have the situation. I'm thinking not negative, I think positive. We try every day to bring the best team to the next game that we play, that we have every player try to come to 100% in every game new, and we hope that we have not more becoming injuries new. Well, then we have a problem what the squad is, but we must not make more problems what we now have.
Are you able to train the way that you want to? I know there's some issues with the pitches here and the weather's not been particularly good. You may have had to train at Hillsborough as well. Has that been an issue for you? Are you able to train the way that you want to at the moment?
No, it's nothing to do with the training ground. It has more with to do that we have so much games, and you must only look what we have now play in the last weeks and what we coming in the next weeks. It is only 1 or 2 training for every game. Also from the intensity and from the time, it's very, it's not much. Why you have always the preparation the day after, maybe 1 free day, and then you have 1 training for the next game. So you've been always in a game situation, not in a training situation.
It just it sounds a little bit like though that you're saying I don't want to risk players getting injured by not playing them. But ultimately, if they play and get injured, you're going to be without them anyway. And either way, they're not playing in the games.
Where are you speaking about it? We have last week, Saturday, 5 days ago, we play a very good game with this team. We play against the Premier League Cup, and we are very close in the next round. 3 days before, we play against Derby County, against a top team. And the team was not the same as last Saturday. It was 5-6 changes. Every game new. and also for the game from Saturday to Tuesday, and also to the game tomorrow, or the Saturday. It is this what we're doing from the first day until now. It is exactly the same. We not make any other choices. We look every day new, and that is my responsibility. That I look how is the situation when I was coming from this team. There are 12 players how I come not available. 12 players, from the 12 players maybe 10 first 11 players normally. But I speak now about this situation, but I'm not negative about that. I try every day with this team, and I say many times that I'm very happy with my team, with these players who I have. And the injury players, I didn't know them, I not know him before, why they not available in the time that I'm here. But the players who I have, I'm very happy with them. But I must help them every day, every game, and also for the next games and weeks and months. But we can only handle the situation when we do it I think on this way. When we not have every time the eye of these players, we make us a very high problem in the next weeks and months.
A final question on the team on Tuesday, and then I promise we'll move on. Sean Clare played very well against Derby, obviously. Didn't play against Millwall, but then Jack Stobbs got an opportunity. Why did you feel that maybe Stobbs was better for that game compared to Clare, who'd played well against Derby in the previous week?
It's very easy. Sean Clare is a midfielder and Jack Stobbs is a striker. So we decide for Jack Stobbs as a striker and not for a midfielder, Sean. It's very easy to explain.
In terms of the health of the team, how is Jordan Thornley? How is he coming along after his injury the other day?
We're very happy, and we are so, how must I say it, that it's not a very big problem now. Jordan can be maybe 1 week now rest, and maybe in the next week coming slowly back to the team training. So there's nothing broken, or we must not have any thinking about some dangerous situation with him. So we're very happy that is with this young player comes in the next 1-2 weeks. He can, I think, come back to the team.
Is it a possibility that Tom Lees could feature in this game against Aston Villa now that he's played a couple of times for the academy?
No. He had played last week 45 minutes, last Monday 90, but Tom had now also a little bit problems from the game. So you see always that you have much patience when the injury players come back to the team training. They are not match fit for play. So they must also have more training, a couple of games, and then they come back maybe to the first team. But it is patient and it is intensive working. But when they coming back to the team training, then the next step is come to the match. But he had now 2 times play with under 23, and Tom is in a good direction. But now he had a little bit problems new from the intensity from the game last Monday.
So is that a minor setback? It's nothing too serious then, it's just a case that maybe he's a little bit tired after coming back, or...?
We must wait a bit. Yesterday Tom cannot train with our team, so today he is in the medical room now. So it is for me also always difficult to say. Tom is now coming slowly back, but he is not on this moment the player who we can bring to the first team. Why we must now also have a little bit patience. Maybe the next days when it is positive, maybe Tom can tomorrow training, and maybe next week an option. But I must look also to Tom, what I say in the beginning. I must look what is possible and what is not possible.
Is there any positive news at all in terms of players coming back from injury? Is anybody else going to be in contention for this game?
No, we have this small squad. We have always 12, sometimes 13 players from the first team over, and we have every game also 2, 3, 4 players from the under 23, and that we must handle it, and we must have a lot of patience for the injury players who come back. Now in this week, slowly starting Sam Hutchinson and Jos Luhukay with the team training, but we must also wait and not too positive that they maybe can make next steps. First we must now look how they come back in the team training. Well, we have also the situation for 2 weeks ago with Barry Bannon. He came back and after 2 trainings he fell back and he's now 2 weeks training also alone. And I hope also with Barry that he can maybe next week slowly come back to the team training. But we must have patience, and I must wait that the medical team and the doctor give green light that some players come back first to the team training.
Given the number of injuries that you've got and the small squad that you're working with here, there's a talented young striker called George Hurst on the books at the clubs who has not been featuring for the academy or the first team for some time now. Has there been any discussions about finding a way to make sure that he could be available for you, just to give you an extra option really to play if you need to be in the next few weeks?
Yeah, he's now this week he's training also with us, and he plays tomorrow with our under 23. So there is a positive situation on this moment, but I know not how is the future. But on this moment he is training and he can play also for us.
So, just to be clear on this, because it has been quite a talking point for some time with George Hurst, if you wanted to start George either against Aston Villa or against Swansea or in the following week, have you got the option to do that?
First, this young player, he had now 7-8 months not play any game. So when you're training, you are in a training situation, so you must have now match games to come in your best level. So on this moment I think not about that, but I know it is a very talentful footballer, young player. So how is for George is also for the other players. I have every day and every week keep an eye on our young players, and every week maybe there come a new player in the first 11. Nobody thinks maybe let's choose it, and we let play Jack Stubbs for the first time in the striker position. So last Saturday nobody think about Sean Clare. He plays last Saturday against Swansea City, and so Jordan Tonley, he had now 2-3 times playing from the beginning. Before nobody knows who this player was. So I'm very happy with this players also. So in the next weeks and months, I say before, I think in the next weeks and months, maybe there come more players from under 23 or the under 90, under 80 to us, and it can be very fast. I come back to our squad. We have a very small squad, and when the injured players come not back, always the players from the young players, from the young teams have also chances.
Sounds like positive news on Hurst though, given that he wasn't even playing for the academy recently. To see that he's now training with potentially with the first team and with an opportunity to get some games and maybe build up his fitness and maybe play for the first team as well, that has to be seen as a big step forward, doesn't it?
I'm not involved in the situation how he was in the past or how he is now in the future. You have always two parts. One part is the club and one part is the player also, of course. And when both see the future very positive, I'm happy that we have the footballer George here. So every good player I like to play here for us, and that we maybe try to be stronger.
And a quick word on Aston Villa, obviously a very strong team, looking to get back into the Premier League next season. So what do you see in them and the test at the weekend at Hillsborough?
Yeah, when I look to our program, it is very hard and intensive. I say it to you before, and Aston Villa is one of the clubs I think who had the chance also in this season to go to the Premier League. It is a very strong team, a lot of experienced players also. Yeah, it is very hard working at Saturday to come to a good result, but what we have to do now in our games against the top teams, Cardiff City, Derby County, Swansea as Premier League club last Saturday, and now Aston Villa, every game you have chances to win, but you can also lose. That have we also feel Tuesday. We had not expect that, but it's in football sometimes you think you have a very good direction last week with these 2 games that we have, and then you have Tuesday a game where you think we can make a result and then you lose. But Saturday you can, I think now the feeling what I have and what I see in this championship, is that you can win also from the top teams in the league, but you can also lose from the teams who stays behind you. So it is a very intensive and hard competition where you always must be 100% to come to a good result.
Thank you, Jos. Thank you.
Thank you.
How much inspiration can you take from the victory that you got against Derby, another team top last week, going into Aston Villa?
Yeah, I think it is very important for when we play at home, and I had the feeling in last week in the 2 games, our fans, I'm very respectful that they stay behind the team. There are a very good atmosphere in the moment from the game. Maybe we have a little bit problems, and then the fans coming and the team feel maybe a new energy. And when we make good games and we bring good results, is for the fans very important, I think. But also, of course, when we play outside, we take a lot of fans with us, and we will give the fans something back. And the most happy thing is always the 3 points that you win. But when you not win, you must give the fans the feeling we have everything done to win the games. And I think there is a good situation between now the team and the fans, and we must give it on the field so that we give the good performance, and we need the fans to the atmosphere, to the motivation to help to help us to win maybe also Saturday against a very strong team.